You can put your hand down. Miss Alexander, are you handling this case for state?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
Do you have any other witnesses besides the parties?
No other witnesses, Judge.
Now, your case has been called. You can call your first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state will call Miss Pay. And who is the father of all three children?
James Raymond.
Okay. And did both of you sign an acknowledgement of paternity? And it was a document that would probably been signed close to when they were born.
Yes.
And it was an acknowledgement of paternity for all three children, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Your Honor, the state would enter the state's exhibit, the acknowledgement of paternity for all three children.
Are you asking to offer them all at one time?
Yes, Your Honor. Miss Patton, do you know where Mr. Raymond is located right now?
Somewhere up North Texas, some prison up North Texas that I don't know of.
Okay, so is he in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice?
I guess that's the prison. I'm
Okay.
not sure.
And do you happen to know what he's incarcerated for?
My understanding is probation violation as of right now.
Okay. Your Honor, the state would enter the state's exhibit, the TDCJ information.
Ms. Patton, I've now placed on the screen a copy of the alleged inmate information details report from the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. May I review this document?
Yes, sir.
Same question, Mr. Raymond. May I look at this document for the Texas Department of Criminal Justice?
Yes, sir.
State's Exhibit B is admitted into evidence.
Ms. Patton, the state sees in there for aggravated assault. Was that assault against you?
On that one, no. That was on someone trying to protect me, and he aggravated assaulted them.
Okay.
He assaulted me, and someone tried to help me, and he assaulted them.
Okay. And do you happen to know when that occurred?
Oh man, it was over 10 plus years ago. He was on 10 years probation for that. So,
Okay. Okay.
our oldest daughter was the only child we had at the time.
Okay. Has there been a history of family violence between you and Mr. Raymond prior to his incarceration?
Yeah.
And what were those, what was the family violence?
I've beaten, hit in the eye. I have boxer ears on both ears. I have been burned. I've been hit in the head with an oxygen tank. I have the scar here. Just multiple things, constantly hitting throughout the year, punching,
Okay.
kicking.
And were all of this, did these happen prior to him being incarcerated?
Yes. This is
Okay.
this last incarceration, yes. All this happened throughout the past 16 years.
Okay. And was the police ever called?
Yes, ma'am. I've had police reports. Sergeant Barrero has a whole case file full of every incident that happened between us.
Okay. And do you know if there's any pending charges against
Yes,
Mr. Ray? There are?
yes.
Okay. Out of what county are those pending charges?
Jefferson County.
Jefferson County. All right. And does Mr. Raymond happen to know where you live?
No, he doesn't know where I live.
Okay. Are you asking the court to not put your address into the court record?
Yes, I'm asking. Please do not.
And you and Mr. Raymond lived together prior to his incarceration?
Yes.
Okay. And just to clarify, did the beatings and everything, did they stop upon him being incarcerated?
Yes. So I left him, yes.
Okay. How are the children covered with health insurance?
Medicaid.
Okay. No further questions. No further questions. The state will call Mr. Raymond. And where are you currently?
I'm in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice.
Okay. And how long have you been in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice?
How long?
Yes, how long? When were you sent to the Texas Department of Criminal Justice?
Um, December of 2019.
Was it 2020? Does that sound about right?
He said
I believe it
2019,
was.
Miss
Okay.
Alexander.
The only on the Texas Department it says he was sentenced that date. Okay. And prior to you being incarcerated in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, were you in jail somewhere prior to that?
Yes.
Okay. And where was that? What county?
Jefferson County.
Okay. And how long had you been in Jefferson County Jail before you were transferred to Texas Department of Criminal Justice?
I'm really not sure. It was a while.
Okay. More than a year?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. No further questions, Judge.
Okay. What you asking for, Miss Alexander?
Well, he's been incarcerated for at least the last 4 years, so there'd be no retro child support, no medical, no child support would be said, no medical support. Just that the appropriate conservatorship visits, if any.
Have you made your case for non-disclosure?
I believe I have, Judge. There's been none since
A single incident of family violence in the last 2 years.
he's been incarcerated, Judge, for the last 3 years.
So the answer to the question is no, you have not proven any non-disclosure issues in the last 2 years.
But I believe there's none that have occurred because he's incarcerated. And I believe the court can look at
the statute of case law make any exceptions for the fact that he was incarcerated during the last 2 years?
I don't have my code in front of me, Judge, but I think the court can look at a history beyond 2 years.
Well, if you're able to find some case law on that, you let me know, will you? I can't find anything on it.
Okay.
Ms. Patton, were you and Mr. Raymond living together up until the point in time that he was incarcerated?
Yes, we were. It was kind of, I want to say
Okay,
kind
Ms.
of
Patton.
forced.
I just wanted to know if y'all were living together up until the point in time that y'all were separated.
Yeah. Yes, sir. It's forced.
You said that there are currently pending criminal charges in Jefferson County against Mr. Raymond?
Yes, I have charges filed against him. They haven't been filed with the court yet.
That's kind of strange because they generally don't file criminal charges against folks that are in TDCJ. They usually leave them
See,
in the county until they
he's
get
in
all of their
prison.
cases, all their stuff finished.
He's in prison for his his probation, but not for my charges I filed against him. They haven't called those cases yet. I've called, they said they haven't pulled those cases yet.
Mr. Raymond, you're going to be in TDC for the next several months, yeah?
Yes, sir, I am.
Are you aware of any pending criminal charges in Jefferson County against you?
Yes, sir.
Your probation was revoked, Mr. Raymond, because of an aggravated assault. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Did that aggravated assault involve somebody that was trying to help Miss Patton?
Yes and no. And no, yes, sir.
Nah, there's no yes and no. That's pretty simple. Was the victim somebody that was trying to help Miss Patton? That's just yes or no.
No, sir.
Mr. Raymond, what are you hoping that I'm going to be able to do for you in this case today?
I just wanted to get visitations
how are you going to get visitation, Mr. Raymond? You're in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. They're not going to let you out to come visit.
Whenever I get released, at least I can get visitations with my kids.
Okay, well, I mean, I'll take that back up again once you get released. I don't know when that could be. I mean, according to the document from TDCJ, that might not be for another 5 years.
Our kids looking for home.
That's okay, Miss Patton. I'll ask you questions when I need some information, okay?
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm not saying you're going to be in there for that long, Mr. Raymond, but that's what TDCJ is your projected release date. You may make parole by then, but right now, that's what it kind of looks like you might be in there for, right? Have you had any parole hearings at this point in time, Mr. Raymond?
My first one is next year.
Right. Okay. So the answer is no, you have not had any parole hearings at this time. Okay. Ms. Patton, is there anything else that you think I need to know about this case before I make a ruling?
No, not that I know of. That's then pretty much he can't do anything. He's in there. I gotta do everything myself here. So, no.
Well, yeah, I mean he's locked up. There's not a whole lot he's going to be able to do for you while he's locked up.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the visitations, he's too far away from visitation, and the kids don't want to.
I'm not going
Can't
to
make
grant. I'm not going to grant visitations today, Miss Patton. He's locked up. He can't exercise it.
Okay,
When he gets out, I'll readdress that then. But
okay. By this time,
today, I
my
mean,
kids will be grown.
well, I mean, I don't know if they'll be grown or not. I haven't done the math on it, but I'm just telling you that that's kind of how that works. Okay.
Okay. Yes, sir.
I mean, your kids aren't going to be grown. Patience is only
She'll be the
11.
last one.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
only
she'll be
11
a
now.
yeah. In 5 years, she'll
Uh,
be what, 16, 17. She'll be almost grown.
well, I mean, you're assuming that he's not going to get out until 29. I don't necessarily
It's
know.
not.
Okay.
That's correct. I'm not assuming, but I just falling off on my kids said they don't have nothing to do with it. They don't want to have a number,
I don't,
address. They don't want
I
nothing
don't
to
know,
do.
Miss Patton, I don't allow the children in my court to determine what happens to them. When they
That's fine.
get
I
to be,
understand. I'm
yeah,
just saying.
when they
I,
get to be adults, then I give them a voice. But until then, you don't have the right in the state of Texas to say no to visitation. You have the right to say no to
so,
custody, but you don't have the right to say no to
so
visitation.
so the kids say they don't want to go. I can't tell them they can't go. They have to go.
Yes, ma'am. You have to make them available to Mr. Raymond when and if I ever give him visitation at any time in the future.
Wow. Okay, I'll let them know that they have to go.
Okay. Again, that's not something that they need to worry about today. There's no reason to put undue pressure on your
Well, my
children
oldest one
today.
is 17. She's kind of
Well,
worried
but
about it. She's 17.
yeah, I mean, by the time Mr. Raymond gets out of jail, she'll be emancipated. So it won't make any difference. She can make adult choices.
That's fine. It's up
I
to
think
you,
you guys
Judge.
are worried. I think you guys are worrying about a lot of stuff that really isn't going to have any impact on the kids for
It's
reasons
not that I don't
you.
want to have anything to do with the man. He's messed up my life and my kids' life, so I don't want nothing to do with him. But that's fine.
Yeah,
Anything
and
that you rule,
I
fine.
don't disagree with you, Miss Patton, but I mean he's their father. I mean I didn't make that situation. I'm just trying to do the best I can to get around the fact that he's in TDC.
That's fine. I understand. I'm just doing a factor what my kids are talking to me about, but I understand where you're coming from. You have
Yeah,
your point. I have mine. I can't do anything about it till he ever get
right,
paroled. That's fine. Whatever.
right. That I mean that's when it'll have to be worried about is when and if he makes parole and which of your children are still underage when that happens.
Okay.
All right. Mr. Raymond, is there anything else you think I need to know about this case before I make a ruling?
No, sir.
All right. The court's going to find the court has jurisdiction. The court's going to find that it is not in the children's best interest to name the parties as joint managed conservators. Ms. Patton will be named as the parent with the right to establish the primary residence as the sole managed conservator. Mr. Raymond will be named as a possessory conservator. There will be no domicile restriction in this case, and the request for non-disclosure is granted. However, there will be no finding of family violence in this case, Ms. Alexander, but I will grant the request for non-disclosure.
Thank you, Judge.
I will make the finding that Mr. Raymond is currently incarcerated. He's going to be there for at least the next 90 days, and therefore there will be no visitation awarded at this time. He's incarcerated. He can't exercise at this time. That's something that will have to be addressed when we get out. I will order Ms. Patton to maintain the current health insurance that she has on the children, and I'll make the finding that since Mr. Raymond's in jail, he is unable to pay child support and medical support. Therefore, his child support and his medical support will be set at zero, effective January the 1st of 2024. Any request for retroactive child support in this case is denied. Miss Alexander, does the state of Texas hear all the terms and conditions of my court order?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Patton, Mr. Raymond, what's going to happen now is Miss Alexander's going to send me a court order. If it matches what I said here today, I must sign it and get it back to them. Then they're going to make a copy of it, send it to each of you, okay?
Okay.
All right. So I reserve the issue of visitation. That'll be something that I'll be take up when and if Mr. Raymond gets out of prison, if the children are still under 18. Okay. Mr. Raymond, you got any questions?
No, sir. Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes. Ms. Patton, do you have any questions?
No, sir. Thank you.
All right. Y'all are both free to go. They'll mail you a copy of it. You're both free to go. Thank
All
you,
right,
man. You
thank
put your hand down. I feel like I'm looking up at you from my hole. You're fine. I'm just picking on you a little bit. You can leave it like that. It's just, it always kind of floors me in these Zoom hearings. Sometimes I feel like I got to be doing like that to look up people, but I don't. All right. Mr. Slett, do you have any other witnesses besides Miss Boyd?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Let's see if you got service on all the parties in this case. That's interesting. The court's going to find that Mr. Nathaniel Davis was personally served with citation in this case somewhere. I'm going to say in Rusk County, Texas. And it looks like he was served on August the 10th of 2023. That citation was returning on file on August the 21st of 2023. A review of my file indicates that no answer has been filed in this case by Mr. Davis. So I'm looking at some notice that was sent to Mr. Davis. The court's going to find that the state of Texas sent notice to Mr. Davis at the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. Is he currently in jail, Mr. Slett?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. That notice was sent timely. He's not here, so this case may go forward by default. You may call your first witness, sir.
Thank you. Before I do that, I'll ask the court to take judicial notice of the controlling order in this case, specifically the order titled Child Support Review Order, establishing the parent-child relationship that was signed on August the 20th of 2009.
The court will take judicial notice of its own file, including the controlling support order.
Thank you, Your Honor. And I will offer into evidence the pay record in this case as State's Exhibit A.
All right, Miss Boyd, I hope you can see this.
Yes, I can.
I've just placed on the record a copy of the pay record between you and Mr. Davis. Is it okay if I look at this pay record?
Yes.
State's Exhibit A is admitted into evidence.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, Miss Boyd, what is your full name?
Ashley Boyd.
Who was ordered to pay you child support?
Nathaniel Davis.
Is Mr. Nathaniel Lee Davis currently incarcerated?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'll offer the Texas Department of Criminal Justice information sheet as into evidence as State's Exhibit B.
All right, Miss Boyd. Now I've placed on the screen a copy of the inmate information details report from the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. May I review this document?
Yes.
State's Exhibit B is admitted into evidence.
Thank you, Your Honor. And no further questions. I pass the witness.
All right. Miss Boyd, according to Mr. Slett's line of questioning, he's going to ask me to reduce Mr. Davis's child support to zero and his medical support to zero due to his incarceration. Do you have any objection to me doing that?
No.
Miss Boyd, do you still currently have Jaden covered by medical insurance?
Yes.
What kind of insurance does Jaden have?
You get Medicare. Medicaid.
Okay, that's perfectly fine. Do you have any questions about this case before I make a ruling?
No.
All right. The court's going to find the court has jurisdiction. The court's going to find, based on State Exhibit A, that there is some arrears in this case, and I'll make an arrears finding based on State Exhibit A and find that as of November the 30th of 2023, Mr. Davis is behind in his child support the amount of $41,133.48. He's also behind his medical support on that same date by the amount of $5,262.89. The child support's going to be paid back at a rate of $400 a month. The medical support at a rate of $50 a month. Both those payments beginning December the 1st of 2023. I'll order Ms. Boyd to maintain the health insurance that she currently has on the child, and I will reduce the child support and the medical support to zero based on the fact that Mr. Davis is currently incarcerated and he's going to be there for at least the next 90 days. The reduction to 0 on both medical and child support will be effective December the 1st of 2023. Court costs in this case will be due by Mr. Davis, but I will give him until June 30th of 2024 to pay my court costs. Mr. Schlett, did the state of Texas hear all the terms and conditions of my court order?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Ms. Boyd, what's going to happen now is that Mr. Schlett's going to send me a court order. As long as it matches what I said here today, I'm going to sign it and get it back to them. Then they're going to make a copy of it and send it to you and to Mr. Davis, okay?
Okay.
Do you have any questions, Miss Boyd? All right,
No,
you try
sir.
to have a Merry Christmas. You're free to go, okay? Wilson, I want
Okay,
you to
thank
raise
you.
your right hand and tell me that your hand is in the air.
My hand is in the air.
Miss Tammy Wilson, do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. You can put your hand down. Miss Maricela Wilson, would you raise your right hand and tell me that your hand is in the air?
Yes, sir. Something here.
Miss Wilson, do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. You can put your hand down. Mr. Alberto Aguilar, please raise your right hand and tell me that your hand is in the air.
My hand is in the air.
Mr. Aguilar, do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Put your hand down. Mr. Schlett, does the state have any other witnesses besides the parties?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Your case has been called. You can call your first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. State will call Miss Marcella Wilson.
I'm on the phone.
Yes. Yes, sir.
How old is Evelette?
She's 12.
What is your relationship to Evelette?
I'm her grandma.
Who does Evelette live with?
With me, sir.
How long has she lived with you?
Since she was 3 months.
Who is the mother of Evelette?
Tammy Jean Clark.
Who's the father of Evelette?
Alberto Aguilar Jr.
Your Honor, I'll offer into evidence the acknowledgement of paternity in this case as State's Exhibit A.
All right. Miss Maricela Wilson, I've just placed on the screen a copy of the alleged acknowledgement of paternity for the child Evelette. Is it okay if I look at this acknowledgement?
Yes, sir, of course.
Thank you. Miss Tammy Wilson, is it okay if I look at the acknowledgement for the child Evelette?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Aguilar, last question. Is it okay if I look at the acknowledgement?
Yes, Your Honor.
State's Exhibit A is admitted into evidence.
Thank you, Your Honor. Miss Marcella Wilson.
Yes, sir.
How often does the mother visit with the child?
As often as possible. We live apart. We live in different cities.
Would you say it's once a month?
No.
Say it's more than once a month or less than once a month?
Less than once a month.
Okay. How would you describe the relationship between the mother and the child?
They speak every day. It's good.
What about the father? How often does the father visit with the child?
Unfortunately, we haven't seen him since she was a year old. Since I moved from Brownsville.
How much support has the mother provided for the child?
She gives me $50 a week.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Could you say that again? How much support does the mother provide for the child?
Yes, sir. It's $100 every 2 weeks, $50 a week.
Okay. Has she been pretty consistent with that?
Yes. Lately, yes.
What about the father? How much support has he provided for the child?
I'm sorry, but I haven't received nothing from him.
What health insurance does Evelette have?
She has Medicare, Medicaid through the state.
Okay. I'll pass this witness, Your Honor.
Okay.
I'll call Miss Tammy Wilson.
Yes, sir.
How much support have you provided for Evelette?
Since I've been working, I've been sending her money every 2 weeks, and if she needs clothes or jacket, or if I provide it, I send the money for it. School supplies, all of that stuff. Yes, sir.
Okay. And you heard Miss Marcella Wilson say it was about 100 to 150 a week. Does that sound about right to you?
That's not what she
Yes,
testified to, Mr. Sheriff.
Okay. How much do you provide for her per week?
Every 2 weeks. Well, okay, so if it's every week, it would be 50.
Okay. Okay. And what do you do for work?
I work at in a warehouse. I pack and shipping. I've been there 4 months now.
How much do you make doing that?
I make $18 an hour.
What were you doing for work before that?
Before this job, I was out of work for 3 months because it was a personal issue that happened. Before that, I was working at True Homes. I was there for 5 years.
How much did you get paid there?
I got paid there 18.
Was it 18 for the whole time you were there?
At the end, they raised it like 25 cents. So by the time I got out of there, I was making just 20.
Okay.
Maybe.
How long were you making the $20 per hour?
And that's when I hit my 5th year.
Okay. But how long did you work there at $20 per hour?
For a whole year.
Okay. Okay. And how often do you visit with the child, Miss Clark?
I visit as often as I can. As my mother mentioned, we live 5 hours apart, and me working 12-hour days is it's not possible often. I try to go, I guess, every couple months, every 3 months. I talk to her every day, though. So,
what city do you live in, Miss Clark?
I live in Harker Heights, Texas.
Okay. Now, what health insurance do you have available through your current job?
Right now, I'm a temp, so I'm fixing to get switched over. They're going to hire me permanently. I'd say that'll be in 2 weeks. So until then, I don't have any insurance currently.
Okay. Okay. Miss Clark, how many other children do you have?
I have one other little girl.
Okay. Does that child live with you?
Yes, she does.
Okay. I pass this witness, Your Honor. And I'll call Mr. Aguilar. And Mr. Aguilar, what city do you live in?
Right now, I'm staying in Bryan College Station.
Okay. How often do you visit with Evelette?
None, sir. For the fact that I've just barely found out where she's at when they came and served me.
Okay. So when is the last time that you visited with Evelette?
When she was maybe when I came back from shrimping, I found out that my ex was locked up, and she needed Pampers, and I guess she found out that I was gonna, well, they take charge of the raise her till Tammy gets out. But the following day, when I went to go take her the Pampers and everything, there was nobody there at the apartment no more. The apartment was bandit. They didn't leave no letters, no advice, no nothing.
Mr. Aguilar, please just answer what I'm asking you. All right. What year was it the last time that you visited with Evelette?
About 12 years ago.
Okay.
She was about 3 months, maybe about 3 months.
Okay. What do you do for work, Mr. Aguilar?
I'm a self-contractor.
What kind of work do you do?
Landscaping.
How much do you get paid doing that?
About like $300 a week.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? I didn't catch it.
Around $300 a week.
Got you. So is that pretty consistent that you make $300 a week?
It really depends. I mean, it depends on the yard. I mean, if the yard's pretty big, I mean, I'll be able to charge it. And not, because I'm not an expensive guy, so I will get customers.
Do you have your own equipment to cut lawns?
Yeah, sure.
Do you have employees that help you out?
Just one, sir.
Okay. How much do you pay that person?
I pay them by yard, but whatever yards we cut, I give them it really depends on how much they pay me, and then I'll just give them a certain percentage of what I get. Say if I get $100, I'll probably give them about like 35, 40.
Yeah. How long have you been doing this?
It hasn't been that long. Maybe about 2 years, a year and a half.
Okay. What were you doing before that?
I worked in Jack in the Box. I used to work a lot of fast food restaurants.
Okay. How much support have you provided for Evelette?
Nothing, for the fact that they took it without my permission.
Okay. How many other children do you have, Mr. Aguilar?
I have 2 boys.
How old are they?
My oldest is 8. He just turned 18, and the youngest 17.
Are they both still in high school?
Yes, sir.
Do they live with you?
One of them does, sir. The youngest one.
The one that doesn't live with you.
He stays with my mom.
Are you ordered to pay support on that one, on that kid?
Oh, I send them money, sir. Like, well, when I can, I send them money.
Okay.
Or if my mom ever needs, because he stays with my mom. But if he ever needs anything or something, I stay in contact with him.
Understood. Okay.
Like every day.
No further questions. I'll pass the witness.
You have any other witnesses?
No further witnesses, Your Honor.
Miss Maricela Wilson, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, I've got some questions, okay?
Okay, sir.
So Evelyn's been with you basically since shortly after she was born, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. And she wasn't born here in Jefferson County. She's born somewhere else.
Yes, sir. Cameron County.
Okay. Cameron County, Texas.
Yes, sir. Brownsville, Texas.
Okay, down south. All right, that's what I thought you meant.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
How did she come to be in your care, Miss Wilson?
Well, Tammy and Albert lost their home, and they came over and they asked me if I could watch her for a couple of weeks till they got a place together again. And well, the rest is just history.
Okay. Do you live here in Jefferson County, Miss Wilson?
Yes, I live in Beaumont.
Okay. All right. So you think that Miss Tammy Wilson is trying the best she can in regards to her contact and visitation with Evelette?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you don't have any problem if I gave her standard possession where she could have weekends and such? You just have to work around her schedule. Is that also correct?
That's always been fine with me, sir.
All right. So you wouldn't have any problem if she had weekends and such like that?
No, sir.
All right. What about Mr. Aguilar? You want me to give him weekend visits?
Well, I mean, Evelyn doesn't even know him.
Okay.
She don't remember him, and the last time he saw her, she was a year old.
All right. So the answer to my question is no, you wouldn't want Mr. Aguilar to have weekend visits with Evelette?
Not really, but if he wants to meet her, I mean, it's up to you, sir. Whatever you tell me to do, I'll comply with whatever you tell me.
Well, I mean, he probably needs to get to know her.
Yeah. She doesn't know who he is or anything.
Right. And that may not be his fault. I'm just saying he doesn't know the child needs to get to know who her dad is, right?
Yes. Well, I mean, yeah, she like I say, she's never, she was a year old the last time he saw her. She wasn't 3 months. I mean, it's up to him if he wants to meet his daughter. But I don't know how my Evelyn would feel about it, to be honest, sir.
Okay, well, I mean, I have to give him contact rights, Miss Wilson, but they probably would be restricted at the start. Is that okay with you?
That's fine, sir.
All right. Now, you said that Miss Maricela Wilson, you said that Miss Tammy Clark has been helping you support the child. Has that been going on for the last 3 or 4 years, or is that something that just started up pretty recent?
No, it's been about 3, 4 years. I really can't give you dates or anything. For a while, it was inconsistent. Lately, it's been, she gets her clothes for school because she has to wear uniforms.
Okay.
She gets her school supplies.
Yeah, that's fine. Are you asking me to go back in time and set child support against Miss Tammy Wilson?
No, sir, because she's been there.
All right. Are you asking me to go back in time and set child support against Mr. Aguilar?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you let Mr. Aguilar know when and each time you moved with Evelette?
No, sir, because when I first moved, I did.
Okay.
I told him I was moving to Colleen. He knew.
Okay.
I never knew how to contact him.
Okay.
I mean, on Facebook, I couldn't find him.
All right. So
he never tried either.
Okay. So, well, I mean, I don't know about that. I haven't, and neither do you. You don't know what efforts Mr. Aguilar has made to try to get in touch with Evelette. I'll let him answer that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure out what efforts you made to make sure that Mr. Aguilar stayed in the child's life. You moved originally to Colleen, is that right?
Yes, sir. I moved from Brownsville to Colleen.
And how long
did
you? Hold on. Don't just answer my question, Miss Wilson.
Yes, sir.
You don't know what he knew, what he didn't know. Right?
No.
So just stay focused on my question, all right?
Yes, sir.
How long did you live in Colleen?
10 years.
Okay. And when you moved to Colleen, from Colleen, where did you move to?
To Beaumont, Texas, sir.
All right. And how long have you been here in Beaumont then?
For 2 years, sir.
Okay. All right. Mr. Aguilar, did you know Mr. Aguilar, did you know that Miss Wilson had moved from Brownsville to Colleen?
No, sir. I found out about that when I went to her apartment and nobody was there anymore. And then her daughter, Tammy, told me.
Mr. Aguilar, just answer my question, okay?
Sorry about that, Your Honor.
You guys, I don't know when you're making stuff up, when you're guessing at stuff. And so if you just answer my question, I'll get to the information that I need, okay?
Yes, Your Honor. Sorry about that.
So you're telling me that you did not know that Miss Wilson moved from Brownsville to Killeen?
Not that first day.
Oh, but you did find out later, though.
But I did find out that she did move.
Okay. And did you try to make any contact with her to find out where she was in Killeen so you could get in touch with Evelette?
No, sir, because I didn't know she had no phone number, and I don't know anybody of the family for me to get in contact with her.
Okay.
But Your Honor, I went to put myself in child support because I wanted to find out about my child.
Right.
With a power of attorney or something. I went and I did a paper so I could put myself in child support because I wanted to be there for my child,
Right.
for my daughter.
Right.
You know, I was trying to do my part, but the power of attorney told me that it wasn't going to be till they find her or where she was at, and then they were going to get in contact with me.
The what? Did you say private attorney?
No, the power of attorney, or so if I could get it in child support.
Mr. Aguilar, you can't use power of attorney in regards to children.
Oh, I don't know when you go.
It just kind of sounds like we're making stuff up again. Just stay away from legal because power of attorneys aren't.
No, because I went to go put myself in child support.
Okay, well that I understand. I get that. So you went to the Attorney General's office, Mr. Aguilar, and you opened the case.
Yes, sir.
All right. And where did you do that?
In Brownsville, Texas.
All right. And when did you do that?
I wouldn't even, I can't remember. I'm not going to lie to you, sir, and say a date, but it's there in paper.
All right. So it's been several years ago since you did that because you don't even live down anymore, right?
Correct.
All right. How long you been in Bryan?
I've been in Bryan about maybe 8 months.
Okay. No. Miss Tammy Wilson, is there anything else you think I need to know about this case before I make a ruling?
No, sir. I just want you to know that I love my daughter and I'm trying my best to be there for her.
Okay. Mr. Aguilar, is there anything else you think I need to know about this case before I make a ruling?
Yes, Matt. For me, I think it's a blessing because I'm finally going to be able to meet my daughter, get to know her, speak to her. I mean, if you give me the chance, Your Honor. I mean, I wish it would have been there a long time ago, but it didn't happen like that. I'm just hoping and praying that I do have a chance to get a chance to be there for her from now on.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a chance, Mr. Aguilar. I'm gonna give you a chance to be there for
her. Thank you, Your
Honor. Miss Maricela Wilson, is there anything else that you think I need to know about the case before I make a ruling?
No, sir.
Look, y'all, I got a dad who hasn't been around. I'm not laying blame at anybody's feet. He just hadn't been there. And he's going to have to get to know Evelette before he just gets unfettered access to this child, no matter what her age is. They got to get to know each other first. So that's what I'm going to rule. I'm going to give him visitation. It's just going to be different because he's got to get to know the child again before that happens. Anything further from the state?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
The court's going to find the court has jurisdiction. The court's going to find, based on the testimony of all the parties in this case, it's certainly in Evelette's best interest to name the parties as joint managed conservators, with Miss Maricela Wilson as the party with the right to establish the primary residence of the child in this case. There will be no domicile restriction in this case. Miss Wilson is the only party that resides in Jefferson County, so she's not going to be restricted. There was no pleadings on file for non-disclosure, so that's not an issue in this case. I'll order Miss Maricela Wilson to maintain the current health insurance that she has on the child. I'm going to order Miss Tammy Wilson to have standard possession. Now, Miss Tammy Wilson is going to have the second and fourth weekend of every month, Mr. Schlett. That's her visitation.
Okay.
Mr. Aguilar is going to have visitation, but it's going to be phased in. I find that Mr. Aguilar hasn't had any contact with Evelette in a very long time, and therefore his visitation is going to be phased in with 6 visits at each phase. So that's going to be 6 visits supervised by Miss Maricela Wilson, and that'll be for 4 hours on the 1st and 3rd Saturday of each month, not the 5th, Mr. Schlett. So make sure you note that in the phase in. We have a 3-party case, so Mr. Aguilar is only going to have the 1st and 3rd Saturday. When those phased in visitations, when the first initial phase of the supervised is completed, then Mr. Aguilar can have visitation, but it'll be unsupervised for half a day for 4 hours on the 1st and 3rd Saturday. When that phase is completed, then Mr. Aguilar will have phased in visitation for the day, and that'll be the 1st and 3rd Saturday of each month, for the entire day for 8 hours. When that last phase is completed, then Mr. Aguilar can have one-night overnight visits, 1st and 3rd Saturday of each month, beginning at 6 p.m. on Saturday and ending at 6 p.m. When the last phase is completed, then Mr. Aguilar can have standard position from that point forward. In regards to the child support, Miss Tammy Wilson has a job, and she's going to be ordered to pay child support as per her testimony. So her child support is going to be $455 a month plus $65 a month in cash medical. That's going to be beginning on January 1st of 2024 and every month thereafter until the child emancipates. There'll be no retroactive child support in regards to Miss Tammy Wilson. Mr. Aguilar is going to pay child support as per minimum wage presumption. I heard no evidence that he's doing anything under the minimum wage. Therefore, his child support with one other dependent will be $195 plus $25. That's the child support and the medical support. His payments will also begin January 1st of 2024. I'm going to grant retroactive child support against Mr. Aguilar in the amount of $4,680, and that'll be paid back at a rate of $45 a month, also beginning on January 1st of 2024. Both Mr. Aguilar and Miss Tammy Wilson will be responsible for court costs, but I will give each of them until June the 30th of 2024 to pay my court cost. Mr. Schlett, did the state hear and understand all the terms and conditions of my court order?
Just one thing. What was the current medical support for Tammy Wilson?
65.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. So what's going to happen now, y'all, is Mr. Schlett's office is going to send me an order. If it matches what I said here today, I'm going to sign it and get it back to them. They're going to make a copy of it and send it to each of you. Now, you don't have to be satisfied with my ruling today. If any party is dissatisfied with my ruling, you have 3 business days with which to file written notice of appeal with the district clerk's office in Jefferson County. Your appeal's got to be specific. You got to tell the referring court what part of my ruling you disagree with, and you're responsible for sending a copy of that written appeal to all the other non-appealing parties. All right. Miss Maricela Wilson, since you're the custodian,
Yes,
I'll ask you first. Do you have any questions about the ruling today, Miss Wilson?
no, sir.
Miss Tammy Wilson, do you have any questions about my ruling today?
No, sir.
Mr. Aguilar, do you have any questions about my ruling today?
Yes, sir.
What's that?
I just want to tell you thank you.
Oh, well, you're welcome.
It was a fair ruling. I think it's a fair ruling. I'm just happy I'm gonna be able to talk to her and see her.
Okay. Well, good luck. I hope you get to exercise the visitation that I've awarded to you, Mr. Aguilar, and you can get back into the child's life. All right?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.